Hello, everybody. This is Maniac 4 Bricks. I already did a thoughts video, a live stream about a week or so ago about a lot of the LEGO news coming out early in May of 2023. Unfortunately, though, that footage did not fully transition from Twitch onto YouTube as early as I expected it would. So while that's still uploading, it will be a long 6.5 hour live stream covering all different kinds of LEGO themes and LEGO news. I thought I would at least break it down to one segment of it and basically give my thoughts once again. I am still very enthusiastic for this one, and I may not have the exact same words as last time, but I think you can understand where I'm coming from, because we're talking about LEGO Dreams. This is a brand new LEGO theme that is airing this August of 2023. So let's take a closer look at everything through Brickset. That's where I'm going to be getting a lot of these information from, and basically outlining every set that we're getting up to this point. And there's one or two other ones that I didn't get to cover before that I will get to talk about in this video. I don't know if it's already been databased by Brickset, although I have seen it floating around. And I know that it's a real thing, not a fake, but hey, even if it was fake, it's a very convincing fake. Honestly, this is a theme where I wouldn't mind if that was like a made-up thing, because it's a whole made-up theme. That's the point. That's what it's going for. Anyways, LEGO Dreams, here we go. Trials of Dream Chasers is a sub-theme of it. Okay. We could preview the trailer, and there is a short that's also available, but they are also on YouTube, so I don't want to have any issues with that where it's like, oh, LEGO already distributed this thing, so I probably can't show it. I'm not entirely sure if that'll work, but I will link them down in the description below after the live stream, because it is cool to check out and get a better sense as to what this theme is about. LEGO Dreams is supposed to be a theme that's original from LEGO. You do not find this from any other toys. This is something that does not happen as often as it used to, but it is good to see when it does happen. A LEGO IP made from the ground up from the company, using their building system, no license attached. And sometimes that benefits purchasing the products. But with that being said, they also can be a lot more expensive because, you know, you could use all different kinds of LEGO pieces with it. I mean, yeah, you could do that with a lot of other ones, but it's like a licensed theme, you typically go towards accuracy and you go towards authenticity. A lot of times, you know, like you buy a Star Wars TIE fighter to build it as a TIE fighter. Now, there have been some cases, like that said, where people do build it into other things, just a lot less common. It's like, oh, you could turn this TIE fighter into an interceptor, and I think it's really cool personally, but it doesn't happen with a lot of with the majority of licensed sets. You kind of buy them to build them into the model based on a property you're already familiar with, and it pretty much stays like that. That's where I find a little bit of fault with it sometimes, and myself included. I am very guilty of this from all different licensed themes, from Speed Racer to Harry Potter to whatever. I mean, even some of the original IPs that LEGO has produced, I still have the sets built in their own form. You know, I am looking at an Aqua base right next to me from Aqua Raiders, and it's missing a couple pieces, but still pretty much as it was intended to be in the instructions. But it is an original thing. It is still, well, it's not my original thing. I just mean LEGO itself created this thing. They had their own surplus of pieces and one or two, you know, specialty ones that worked into it, you know. I do like when that happens. I do want to further the growth of that kind of stuff, not only from the company itself, but also my own building. Like, when I build mocks, they're usually based on pop culture. So there is a bit of, yeah, you got to get it right to what people recognize. But there's also the amount of, like, how do you get there? It's like a math problem. You could do it a whole bunch of different ways, and you could still end up with a good result, you know? You can still end up with something that looks right. The way I built Bart Simpson doesn't have to be as blocky and polygonal as it is, but you still recognize as Bart Simpson, you know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say here is I really like this being an original Lego theme because we don't have that many of them as often as we used to. It's more about breeding the imagination. It's more about getting a new story that could be made than working from one that's already established. And some things like that in the recent years, like Hidden Side, I've enjoyed that very greatly. I bought all the sets in retail. I got the gift with purchases. I'm still missing some of the poly bags and the magazine bags, but I do have. I did get one of them back in whatever it was, October or so of 2022, where at Philly Brickfest. So that was cool. I would still like to complete more of Hidden Side. I would love to set those up. I just got to find the right shelf to put them on, but they're fantastic. I'm trying to think what else has been happening IP wise from Lego. It's kind of hard. There's not a lot of them. I guess, yeah, technically you could say Castle because of, it's not like Lord of the Rings or something specific. Even though they have Lord of the Rings now, they've also had, the $400 Lion Knight Castle last year. There was the Forceman gift with purchase. Little tidbits here and there of Castle stuff. Yeah, I guess you could also count Creator to some extent because they had the Black Falcons introduced in a Castle thing. So it is still around. It's just not as present as it used to be. When you look at all of the licenses, you look at a Lego store, you'll see a lot of different stuff for licenses over original things. Lego does still have some original groundwork with things like Monkey Kid because it's based off of an original. It's based off of a story, but in its own spin. Journey to the West is not a specific licensed thing. It is a recognizable piece of work, but the way Monkey Kid is told afterwards is making it its own thing. It's almost like a fan fiction if you think about it. But Ninjago as well. But Ninjago has been around for 11 years, and I'm not saying. Hello? Oh. I heard something. It turns out my phone was still playing a video. My apologies. Ninjago, it's good. It's good for everybody. Like, it's got a lot of great stuff. Even the most recent big modular Ninjago City set, it looks fantastic. I would love to talk about that sometime later because I don't know if that warrants this video particularly. It's supposed to be mostly about Dreams. I'm just using it as a point of comparison where it's like, we've had Ninjago for 11 years, and sadly, it feels like it's been the SpongeBob that to like how SpongeBob is to Viacom, Ninjago has been for Lego. It was a booming, wild success that could have ended early, but continued longer than its initial run, and has been steadily going to this day, having more theatrical presence and everything like that. And even if this, if I understand correctly, this story, the essential story of Ninjago, is practically wrapped up or is already concluded with Crystallized. I haven't followed all the story. I've only heard tidbits from other people. But they're still making products. They're still able to make sets based off of these things. So having like the core series, there's like a new generation of ninjas that'll be coming out. So that stuff is cool. It's good for those who like Ninjago, but Ninjago is the only IP they've really centered on for a long period of time. I wouldn't mind if there were other IPs that were short-lived. Hidden Side was kind of in the same way, but it almost felt like they canceled it prematurely, which I feel is very wrong. Especially the last wave of Hidden Side, it had a lot of that vibe because it was like, it's here, it's in the stores, and it's gone. And it was also exclusively in the Lego stores. It wasn't released to Walmart and Target like the early waves were. So it was kind of a bummer that, some people may have not been able to get those sets because they didn't even know they were out. It was like, here's 4 or 5 sets from a new wave, and then they're gone in like a few months. Like barely lasted half a year. And I remember that. I'm glad I got the sets when I did, because it would have been highly difficult to do that afterward. Oh yeah, here's inside. I typed it in by accident, but yeah. So there were a couple of these sets: the Mystery Castle, the Phantom Fire Truck, I think it's further down here. I don't remember if the Abandoned Prison was part of that wave or the one before it. Supernatural Race Car, yeah, that was there. But maybe the Submarine, I can't remember. But these are all fantastic sets, in my opinion. I think it breeds a lot of inspiration that you could add more stuff into the world of it. You can gloom a lot of things. It's the term that they used. You can gloom a lot of things with the yellowish green pieces, or as I like to call them, ghoulish green, because of the ghostly, possessive nature of them. You could add it to all different kinds of characters, and you get a sense of variety with the vehicles that you can, again, convert it for other things. A good example of this, my friend Nick on Planet Ripple did a video where... Is it showing up on screen? There we go. Welcome Mayo and welcome Richie from our toy world. So there we go. Nick on Planet Ripple. Should be under Monster Truck or something like that. Yep, Monster Burger Truck. Great video. This is a simple mod to an existing creator set that works in the world of Hidden Side very, very well. He did a little bit more modification with it than just adding pieces onto it, like actual reconstruction of things, but essentially works as you would want it to. Now I'm basically going over to Dreams on the Lego website, because Brickset and Lego, they have most of the information right. I mean, hell, that's where the information came from. Lego was distributing it to certain, media programs so that, they can get the word out and press releasing and things like that. But I walk through the theme. There were some that make a lot of sense. Sega, welcome to the stream. So, head back here. We're going to be going through these one at a time. I have them all listed. Okay. I don't know when this polybag is supposed to release, if it's supposed to be certain areas, because I know sometimes polybags just kind of, they happen, and then like 3 months later, they're gone. Like ones earlier this year, I'm surprised they're already gone. They just came out. And they were like the Moana polybag. There was an X-Wing for the Return of the Jedi anniversary, and then it was gone, and then they made it a May the 4th promo. It's like, something seems backwards here. But okay. So I don't know about the release of this polybag. I don't know if it's supposed to be a retail exclusive, Lego Discovery exclusive, a gift with purchase. If it's a gift with purchase, I don't mind getting it. And but if I do miss on it, because I have missed on other polybags before that I wanted, this one at least looks simple enough that I could build most of it from my own parts. Maybe barring a few color elements here, maybe the coral piece underneath. I'm not entirely sure. This piece might be new. This bunny is new. Obviously, you got the blob, Z-blob, I should say. These cups, I don't know if they've been in that color before, but not too shabby. So this is kind of I've seen some people describe this as like a mimic, like in Dungeons and Dragons or fantasy era stuff. A mimic being like an everyday object that you wouldn't suspect being a monster until you get close and interact with it. Classic example of this would normally be like a treasure chest. So there's a monster hidden inside of the chest, or the monster is the treasure chest, but from the outside, it just looks very ordinary and unsuspecting. So somebody could walk up to him and be like, oh, I could get some good gold out of there, and then, get eaten by the monster or something. That's a classic example like that. I've seen people compare some of the these like legged creatures that have beds on them in a similar way to mimics. I don't know if that's the intent of it, but I do like that notion of it. I do like that these are basically, carrying off and capturing people in their sleep. This whole theme is supposed to be taking place in a dream world, a dreamscape, which opens up a lot of potential, a lot of things you can do with that mindset. So I like that these creatures actually have like a bed built onto them to capture people and keep them asleep while they're whisked away to nightmarish realms and things like that. The idea of it is like there's some kind of nightmare king that's taking over. I will have to learn more of the story as I go along, but that's what I've been getting as the gist of it up to this point. So as far as this polybag goes, let me see if they show anything for the. Okay, no. Yeah, it's a European cover to it. Doesn't show the price. Doesn't show the pieces or anything like that. So we don't know. But for right now, I like it. I think it's really cool. I think it's got some good parts in it. Some of these parts obviously are going to be in other sets. You'll have the bunny in like a $20 set. The blob will also be in a $20 or so set and above. So having it as a polybag, not bad. And this is a nice goopy piece that people loved with video. Like video, for all it is an IP, true, even though it does have licensed music through Universal, so there's that. And I'm going to put my, whole spiel about like the app compatibility aside. It had good figures. It had good parts. I do like that part of it. The actual toy product was neat. It was just undermined by the app compatibility. And, some of the design of the set reflected that as well. So if it was a bit different, where it was more playable without always being an app, then it would be a much better theme. That's one of the reasons why I enjoy Hidden Side so much. They are full-fledged play sets without the app. We don't have the app anymore. Unfortunately, I never really got to use the app that much before it was shut down, but I didn't need to. I didn't feel obligated to use the set with the phone, because I could use the set as a set. It had a lot of good play features in it and things like that. So that's why I like here. It's like, okay, the video thing. Why was I bringing that up? Because there was a creature in there that had a globby headgear piece that would go over a minifig head. And this one carries the same one, but now without printing. That's what people liked when the video one came out. They liked the original, or they liked that globby piece, but they didn't want the face print with it. So they either had it turned around, or in some cases I've even seen people would like remove it, nail polish removal style or whatever, take off the printing from it, which is kind of a bummer because that wave of video was hard to find. It was prematurely canceled, and therefore not a lot of the bandmates circulated. So I only grabbed a couple of them up to, the time that I could find them. And even then, most of them were duplicates. I had like 2 or 3 of the cowgirl. So I don't have a full set of those. But, getting this piece to use in, other scenarios, good. We have it as a plain, non-printed version. That's great. I do like the eyes. I believe the eyes are a new print as well. Or if they have been used before, I don't recall seeing them personally. This feels like a polybag that gets all the job done. Like, you've got a villain, you've got a bit of a hero, you've got an objective, because this is a bunny being held captive. So there's, there's something to do here. Obviously, it's not going to be a full experience out of it, but you still get a sense as to like what this world's about, what these creatures can do, what these, what's happening here. It also, in build wise, reminds me of like a Galaxy Squad polybag or two from way back in the day. If I open up a tab here, like I'm looking at this thing and I feel like I'm back in Toys R Us in like 2012, 2013, seeing a mini mech or something like this as a polybag you could buy off the shelf. So Think of that as you will. Um, so yeah, I am excited for this as well. Um, Again, I don't know what kind of distribution it will be under. I just hope it's wide. I just hope it's available. Unlike other polybags where it was harder to find them. Okay. Yeah, they're sorted by retail price. Okay, all good. Excuse me. Sorry if I have a very nasally voice. Still have allergies. I'll do what I can with it. So starting off, 71453, Izzy and Bunshu Bunny. Bunshu the Bunny. Sorry. So the idea with this one, as I'm understanding from even the shorts, is that this is a stuffed rabbit that this character Izzy owns, and in this dream world gets to be more than just a stuffed rabbit. It becomes a full-fledged, creature, like its own sentient creature. This is cool. I don't know if it's supposed to be a mech necessarily, but it feels very mech-like, as I said. You got a lot of posable features here and there. It's got some different joints. There's a couple of new pieces in here throughout this line, and probably going to be in other Lego lines, which looks good. And the whole idea of the DREAMZzz sets, I don't know if the Polybag is going to do this as well, but all the other Dream sets have this special feature where you can change certain options on the builds. Like some of the pieces that you have, you can build one thing, take them apart, and then build something else without having to reconstruct the entire model. It's not like the Lego Movie series or Creator, where you have to tear it all apart from like scratch and then rebuild it into a new model. That's a good feature on its own. I did not have any problems with those at any point in time. And Creator still does that, so it's obviously, doing fine. Galaxy Explorer has a hidden alternate build, separating the model from its larger version to a medium and a smaller version, with instructions online. They don't provide them in the set, unfortunately, but they do allude to it in the opening paragraphs of the instruction booklet. This is a comparable option. I would like to see it rebuilt into more things just to get a lot more imagination going with it. But in a day and age where instructions are king, unfortunately, a lot of things, a lot of Lego builds are just used to being built by instructions. This is like a compromise. It was like, okay, well, we can still kind of rearrange stuff. We just don't have to take the whole thing apart. I think it still opens the door for creativity, that you could still make add-ons for this and other sets just fine. It just means that, you're mostly going to see it as this model either way. I do hope that there are some people who take this entire thing apart and build it into a submarine or whatever, just for the sake of it, just for the fact we have a lot of pieces in here. But as it is, I think this is still a cool idea. A similar thing had been done in other themes, where I think about like combo models and combining sets together. So Bionicle has had that for a long time, of having combiner models. In 2015, 2016, they would actually just take some of the accessories from one figure and then add them on to the bulk of another. So again, not a lot of taking things apart or reconstructing the whole thing from the ground up, and just accessorizing and embellishing what the main set offers. So that's fair. I'm trying to think of recent history if there's anything else like that. I don't think Ninjago did anything like that recently. Not Hidden Side. Trying to think of what else. Nexo Knights kind of did something like that, and Monkey Kid. With both of those, the closest example I could think of, I'll see if I can throw an example up here. Closest example I can think of is that they would have two separate sets that could combine with each other to make one larger model. So, and it was the other good thing about it was usually they were smaller sets. So like I think it was Maze Dragon Jet and Monkey Kid's Combi Mech. These two could combine with each other. They might transform a little bit and then combine, and you get one massive thing to go with it. They even show that on the back of the box here. Yeah, this folds around, and a couple pieces are moved, and bam! Now you got a two-person mech here. I think they even do that in the show, if I remember correctly, for a little bit. But yeah, it does happen in the show. So it's still a thing to some degree. Nexo Knights, they had that in the second wave of sets, I remember. And I did own some of the sets, but I didn't own the exact ones to always make the combos. It was like I had one half of it. If I go... So yeah, all these Battlesuit sets that were in the second wave 2017 were compatible with other sets. So you could add on more things to the sides of them, or weaponry and things like that. I wanted to see if there was one of these sets. Macy's drop, yeah. This was one of those types. And then you just literally add it onto the top of the other existing set, and bam, you got a bigger mech vehicle out of it. I think this one I owned, but again did not have the. I think it's like this. There's one part of this that like breaks off and then it attaches, so then you still have a vehicle with it, separate from that. So that's cool. And this one again, it's trying something different with that, but it's the entire theme. It's not just a few sets. Every set has it in its own contained way. Any one of those sets you get, you can do this kind of thing without having to buy another set to do it with, but you can if you want to because it's Lego. That's the thing I always push. It's kind of hard to judge certain things because it's Lego. It's changeable. It's just how is it packaged to be its own toy experience. That's basically what it feels like. So this is a $20 set. It's 259 pieces with two figures. It's a little debatable of calling these minifigures, but I've seen other things called minifigures that were completely like different. Ones that were just small builds. On Bricklink, the bats from Elves are considered minifigures. I thought they would just be considered animals. But for whatever reason, okay, sure. So these little guys, basically little minions for the Nightmare King, and they do have a little bit of personality with them. Some of them do have different names. Some of them have different, headgear or accessories to go with them. This is Izzy. She's one of the Dream Chasers. Very nice hairpiece. Look at that color all the way around. I like that. I hope we get more of that. I think the armor piece is new, if I'm understanding correctly. And good printing on the torso and legs. I like how it goes from one to the next. Almost pajama-like, I think. It'd be funny if they were all in pajamas. And just, like, covered up with suit of armor or something. Nice big sword piece with it. There's a new out. I don't actually remember if this is new for the theme or if it's already been around. I feel like I've seen it before. But there's, like, this hourglass piece that shows up in a lot of the sets. And as far as I can tell from the shorts, it's basically the hourglass, the sands of time, It's the fuel source, if you may, for any of the things that they create and use, whether it's a vehicle, a creature, whatever. Having enough of that sand as a way of fueling, if you may, their imagination. That's what I'm understanding about it. So overall, I really like this set. I think it's a great, like, vibrant set. I think it's very nice and posable. The only thing I would like more out of it is if the hands were actually able to open close. They're basically built in a way that they're always in one way. You know, you can't really hold anything in the hands naturally. Like I said, hard criticism because it's Lego, and I could always modify that. So I might. If I get the right pieces together in the right colors, I will try to modify this at some point. Um, but overall, $20. I think this is a really good one. I'm looking forward to this. Is like one of my top sets of the theme, by the way. And this is at a lower price point, and I'm happy with this one. I think it's a really good look. Okay, so I believe this didn't change. I asked it to be sorted. Okay, there we go. Yep, okay. Pricing there has changed. Or pricing there, it's the same. Excuse me a second, I gotta sneeze. Okay. So next up, Mateo and Z-Blob the robot. So Mateo, it shows up in a whole bunch of sets throughout the theme. And Z-Blob is basically his companion, his creature that, you know, can be a small little blob, but also has this big suit of armor. So that's cool. It feels very Fortnite, not gonna lie, because it reminds me of Ripley from Fortnite. Especially that gelatinous but humanoid nature of him. I still like him. I still like this as a character. I haven't played Fortnite in a long time, and I don't have this character as a playable in Fortnite. But if I played it again, I probably would do this. So either way, yeah, he's got a little bit of that gelatinous form to him. And with this one, also a $20 set, also a mech set, but it's actually surprisingly varied from that. Like, it does have some of the same joints and things, but it also has different features. There are different accessories that work with it. There's a different enemy that goes with it. In some cases, you might even consider this a stronger option than the Bunchu one, because you have a larger build that goes with the enemy. You have a second minifigure with this set. You have hands that can actually hold things. What you don't have are skates and a more vibrant color scheme. So honestly, between the two, I think this one might even be like a little bit of a better value than the Bunchu set, even though the Bunchu is a more striking appearance. This one, it has a more muted color scheme. It's a little more like casual, but it's not bad. It's just not as, you know, extravagant. So this one, it does include another minifigure with it as well. Like I said, you know, I like these little creatures with the beds on them and you know, containing the person, capturing them. You can see them outside of here. So this one is even more interesting to me as for its quote unquote transformations, or, you know, its reworkings, because not just the backpack, not just the weapon on the front of it, the head itself also changes. This has a lot more reconfiguration than I thought it would. And I didn't give it a lot of credit when I first looked at this, but like now, you know, I'm not sure where Z-Blob's face is, if it's back here or something, but now I got this as almost like the front face of it, and it's interesting compared to how this looks. So I'm excited for this one as well. I personally like the look of Bunchu more, but I think this one has a better like potential for play. I think there's a lot more of a play experience you can get out of this one as a whole. So, as I mentioned before, you got the jetpack on the back of this, and it looks like an area to pilot this manually, like actually sit the minifigure on top of here to control it. And then you have the standard look with the blob right there, this one piece. You know, at the helm and having this large, let's just call it a goo gun for whatever reason. Let's just, you know, it has this large weapon to go with it and a shoulder mounted, or, you know, weapon that actually does fire. So, you know, a little bit of actual projectile in this set. As far as the figures go, there's how they look. I'm guessing this greenish area is like how he connects or how he links up with the with Z-Blob. I think this character's name is Jeremy. So this is Mateo. This, I think his name is Jeremy. Doesn't say in here. Probably says it on the product page. Oh, there we go. Meant to move that earlier. Let's see. 2 minifigures. Mateo and Jaden. Sorry, I got the name confused. So this is Jaden, who apparently it shows up in a whole bunch of sets, and I'm assuming has some kind of significant role in the story. Because, you know, it's like, hey, he's featured in a whole bunch of sets. He's usually the captor in those sets. Or captive, whatever the word is. He's the one being captured. So it must mean that they want him for a specific purpose. So yeah, I am excited for this one as well. I think this is a really cool set. And I'm looking forward to the building experience. Okay, next up on the line, we've got the Dream Village. This one having a lot more building aspect, like not a vehicle, not a mech, but just a town, a village experience out of it. So once again, we have Jaden in here as our minifigure, but we also got a whole bunch of these little guys, which Brickset is calling Dreamlings. So, you know, good guys in the dream world and having their own inhabitants, which is cool. I do like a world building set. I do like, you know, a set that is just a building or group of buildings, you know, to get more of the atmosphere of it. A lot of Lego themes, depending on the theme, they do struggle here and there with having just a building structure or filling out the environment of the world. And I get that a lot of the artwork on the sets kind of does that, where it's like you have these floating castles and trees and things like that. But some of that can be built in here just to get it more lively, you know, when you actually have the thing put together. So with this one, it actually does recustomize, taking different elements that are semi-modular, like in between floors and things like that. You can see where it can split up, and recustomizing it into a large, looks like a larger windmill or a battle tower or something like that. That's a cool idea. And as far as I can tell, that doesn't take any amount of reconfiguring parts. Like, it looks to me that each of these sections, you can even see like where the dividing line is, right here, right there, you know, right there. Each of these sections can just pop off of each other. They don't require any disassembly like some of the other sets do. So that might be in its favor of, you know, customizing these. And even just building other buildings that could be in the same modular, mini modular kind of system. It's also really cute that they have a bakery, a wizard's house, some kind of potion shop, and a blacksmith. And you have figures appropriately outfitted in that way. It looks like that they have the same heads as a minifigure. That's something to mention for both the Dreamlings and the Nightmarish minions. So they do use the same accessories. So technically, you could get more of these just as the figures themselves and give them all different occupations and hairstyles and whatever's. That's fine, and that's really fun. So more looks at the buildings. I do like the vibrant colors between them. It's got an Elves vibe in a good way, and not to say that Elves was bad in any way. It was, if I had to interject here, I think it was very underrated. Like, it was a great fantasy theme, even though it had a lot of girl demographic targeting. But the sets were very unique. They were very cool. I've built a couple of them. I had one of the bakeries from Elves, and I enjoyed it. even if it was a facade, it still gave you enough to work with, and had a bright color scheme that other sets didn't feature, or didn't feature the same exact way. So I was okay with that. We got a lot of light aqua as well throughout here. As a look at everybody, it looks like they have the same head, because it looks like the same printing across all of them. And I believe that the like underside of their arms can hold minifig accessories. That's what it looks like from some of these images. It's got a bar receiver on either side, so that's good. And then you have that. They're all separate. And this is a $30 set. $30 set for 434 pieces. I think it's fair. I think it's actually pretty fair. It gives you a whole bunch of buildings. Yeah, they're typically scaled for the Dreamlings. They're not scaled towards the minifigures, but it's their world. It makes sense they would have it built to their sizes. It gives you a lot of different things you can play around with, arrange them in different ways. Even just setting them up next to each other. You could basically make a little marketplace out of this. And I think it's fine for a $30 price. It's very ornate. It's very intricately detailed, and little things here and there. It's even given me a little bit of like Master Builder Academy vibe. With the level 3 that I've built numerous times, it had a very similar, medieval structure to some things, and having all these little pieces working in to make it more come alive instead of just being a block, or like your average McDonald's where it's just a gray square. Give it some texture, man. Anyways, yeah, $30. That's okay with this one, and we'll move on to the next. I believe, yeah, $30 here. I keep checking back because the next one makes no sense to me at all. No sense. And that's between both Brickset's listing and Lego's listing. So, let's go through what this thing is. Grimkeeper, the Cage Monster. This is another mech-styled set. Okay, yeah. I get it. We're getting a whole bunch of them. But they are creatures. And they could be various sizes and functions. I'm okay with that. And so far, we've had 2 of them that were both at the $20 price point. And we had a lot of interchangeable parts. And some other model to go with it to combat it. That's fine. It works okay. This one, very similar method. It's got even the similar kinds of joints being used in here. This one has a special feature in which the middle of it, hence the name Cage Monster, can actually contain a figure inside of its chest. And that can't be like a difficult construction as far as I can tell. I don't think there will be any brand new pieces to go in this to say this is the only way you can build it. No, I'm pretty sure you could do that with all kinds of pieces. Ninjoid Mech Dragon. There's a prison in that one. It's super small, but it gets the job done. And it's all out of basic pieces. Keep in mind, I didn't have this much comparison when I did this last time. But I enjoy this comparison with other themes. Because it's like, where have we come from? What have we done? Bam! There it is. This area, right in front of Evil Woo, is a prison cell. This thing is very compact, can open up, and you can fit a minifigure inside of there sitting down. You even have this back area that's open. You could fit a couple figures in here. That's cool on its own. I'm trying to see if there's another image, another angle or so. That has the prison taken out of it. Okay. So, yeah, it would be right here. Right where the cursor is. In this middle section. And that's okay. I thought I would be able to find... I mean, I do still own the set. It's just been a while since I've rebuilt it. There we go. That's what I wanted. That's the ticket. This is all made out of common pieces. It has just enough room to fit a minifigure like Lloyd in there, sitting down, close it up, put it into the Mech Dragon. Perfect. Not taking up too much space, not taking up too many parts. Nothing brand new that needs to be introduced here to make this happen. This is fine. This is great. I mean, this is basically an evolved version of Space Police 1, and a bit of Space Police 2, and a bit of Space Police 3. Because in each of those, they also had a small capsule of some kind. Let me see if I can find a good example here. They also had a small capsule of some kind in most of the sets that would contain a minifigure. And I believe with most of these, they were made where they could stand up. I don't remember exactly the space in here, if it could stand up or sit down. Hey, you know what? You know what's funny? That's the same base for it, too. That's the same way they put it in there. But these are all common pieces. Even at its time, you know, nothing brand new was highly introduced. Maybe different colors, but that's fine. But still gets the job done in a very small area. So what I'm trying to say here is the Grimkeeper, Grimkeeper does not need a complex build. It's a different build for sure, but I guarantee this is all common pieces. You could build this yourself very fine. You could build most of this figure on your own, except for some of the joints here, and maybe the headpiece or some other little things on top. It is a little bit tired that we have the Hero Factory shield used again as a headpiece, but I think it kind of works here. Whereas opposed to some other figures, like Clayface, it does not look great. Or that one Molten Monster from Spider-Man. Molten Man Battle, that's it. And that's an example of a set where they use that piece, and it just feels... It feels off. And it feels, like, incomplete. You could see that there's space around it, that it's like... It should be bigger. It should be fleshed out more. The rest of the model looks great in comparison. But, yeah, that doesn't do it for me. And then if I go over to Clayface from one of the last one of the last Batcaves that we've had in 2019, this one also uses it. A little bit better, but still, I don't know. Never really appealed to me in this way. I mean, I loved the rest of the design here. And I also loved the Clayface we got in the Lego Batman movie. That was not only a bit expressive, but also it felt complete. It felt like it felt cohesive. That's the word I was looking for. This all feels like it goes together, you know? Maybe a little bit repetitive, but, you know, you can tell it's all there. So here, okay, it's fine. It's a little bit on the Clayface side of things, but I'll go with it. It's got some, you know, hands that can open and close, so you can grab things. You can grab people. It'd be great. Grab someone from the ground and chuck them into your chest or whatever. Put that on the commercial. Put that on the box. You can grab people and throw them in your chest. You control the action. Anyways. It's got, you know, for a larger figure that has our Nightmare, you know, villain roster, we're getting a little bit more of the color scheme of it. So it's black, obviously. It's got pearl gray, or pearl dark gray, I should say. It's got some yellowish green. Again, the ghoulish green, you know, making more spooky, creepy vibe to it. And magenta. It's like a little bit of Monkey Kid in there with the magenta. But the magenta, accenting it here and there, keeps it from being too dark. It still gives it this mystery vibe, this aura to it. I would even argue that dark purple or trans purple could work well with these colors. Other sets you'll see have trans dark pink worked into it. So I think, yeah, that'd be great. Just giving more of that like mystique. Here's our minifigures. So once again, we have Mateo. We've got Z-Blob. I'm trying to remember this character's name. It doesn't say on here. Okay. Off we go to the Lego shop at home. Cooper. Okay, so this character is Cooper. He is a dream chaser, if I'm understanding correctly, at least based on the animations. But he can be used here as a captive. And then we have another vehicle to go with this as well. So, and there's also another build I forgot to mention. It's kind of like a lantern. This has a trans dark pink on it I was talking about. Some yellow in there. Yellow is okay with the color scheme. Like an accent. So we have this vehicle to go with it. Another thing I love, any of the sets with Mateo has this giant pencil as a sword. That's cool. That's what I like to see. You know, I've been watching two people lately playing Tears of the Kingdom from Legend of Zelda. And there's a feature in the game, for those who don't know, there's a feature in the game where you can fuse objects to your weapons. Everyday, ordinary, natural objects. I saw one stream of it where somebody fused a rock onto their shield and then a rock onto their sword. So you could just swing both of them around as giant rocks. It's like, that's so cool. Then that's what it kind of reminds me of here. That's like, just use something else. It could work like a sword. Yeah. We'll use any one of those kinds of shield pieces that has a stud on the end of it and attach something else to be a different kind of shield. It'll still like serve the purpose. You know what I mean? So like, you could make it a pizza shield. I think I'm gonna make a pizza shield. Like, let me bring it up real quick. Let's scoot this over here. Shield circular. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of these that have like the stud on the end of them. And some of them actually can receive. Some of them have printing. Yeah, some of them are rounded already. That's fair. But yeah, if you already have one that's open like that, what is this? Oh, it's band parts. Okay. But yeah, why not? Put a pizza on the end of that. It's a pizza shield. Why not? And like in universe, it'll be a pizza. It'll be an actual pizza that you use to defend yourself. Like, you're not just decorating it to look like a pizza. That's what I love about this theme. I love that it's already giving me ideas for things to build and things to do with it. That's what I want out of this. All right. So we have two different builds that we can do with Z-Blob. The two different kinds of flyers you can see right here and right here. So that's cool. That is nice. You actually have a bit of difference in how it's shaped up. I don't know exactly where the rest of the pieces are going to go. That's something that I do remember now. Lego Dimensions had that, where like you had a gadget or a vehicle in any of those sets that you can recustomize into two other models. But like the beautiful thing about it, that people, I don't know if anybody talks about this. The beautiful thing about it is all of the pieces get used. You don't have, as from what I can remember, you don't have extras of those pieces lying around after building into another model. They work them in. Like, if not all the time, most of the time. Like, I've built a couple of them, like, recustomized them. I'm like, wow, they're all here. You don't lose anything, because then, you don't lose the pieces. You can't build it back into the original thing. That's fantastic. It's great. And it looks like a different thing. So this, I'm hoping, is in a similar way, that they've adapted these vehicle parts, that they've adapted what these transform into, so that you retain all of the pieces. There's nothing left over on the table that you're like, I don't know where to put these. And if I need to build the other thing again, it could go missing. So with this one, it's a lot less of the customization for the gatekeeper itself. He also has this little lantern, like I said. You can see a little better here. The customization does not come from the gatekeeper. This is built as its own thing. I'm fine with that. I don't think the nightmare vehicle, creature, anything has to have that. And I think that would actually benefit in story. That it's like, yeah, you're not going to be able to rework this into something else. It will be this imposing force that always stays the same way. That makes sense to me. That is like, you're trying to conquer this object. Maybe you need to work it into something else that, you have your own tools that you need to apply in a different way. Hence, building these different models, that kind of thinking. I am a little bit surprised that the, that the lantern doesn't change here, but okay, sure. Again, I think there's room that you could try something with that, with the figure, but for right now, all right. Now here comes the kicker. This set, a mech set, much like what we've seen before, has some transforming and a similar body and structure to the other mech sets we've seen. 274 pieces, about the same range of pieces. That makes that makes some sense to me. If it would be $20, maybe $25 if you really had to stretch it, maybe $30 if you really want to be picky. That might not be great, but okay. $37.99, and not just from Brickset. Lego itself, $37.99. Why? In what way? Why? What causes this to be almost the cost of the two other mech sets combined? That makes no flipping sense to me. It baffles me. I have been looking this thing over since the release of the images and information, and I still can't make sense of this thing every angle. I don't understand. And I really hope that this was some kind of price blunder that will get corrected, because this does not look like a $40 set. I was, hesitant on saying it was a $30 set. And I think that's going to hurt this majorly. It looks, and it's boxed like all the other $20 offerings, but for some reason, it's not $20. Anybody else will look at it in the store, and if they're sitting next to each other on the store shelf, anybody will look at that. They'll look at one of them. They'll see it's $20. They'll look at this. They'll instinctively think it's $20. But then when they bring it to the register, you're going to tell them it's $38. I mean, aside from the weird numbering of 38 as opposed to like a 5 or a 0, I'm going to ignore that. But that does not, I do not understand how this pricing would work into it. I did that whole spiel in the beginning about, the chest looks like it's made out of common parts, like it's not a complicated thing. Like, I was trying to figure out, like, is that why? Is there some kind of extra specialized piece that's put into here to make the chest work? No. This thing has to have been made from the most basic Lego elements that we have available, the most common kinds of parts that you can find. I tried to look at this around. It's like, you got brackets, you've got plates, you've got studs with holes, you've got these little robot arms, for the clips. You've got tiles, you've got some slopes. What else is going on here? What else would justify this thing over even the village set for its price? The village, yeah, it may be small and stout, but it's packed. It's it's jam-packed with things. This does not feel like that. And I'm very hesitant on buying this one until I see that there was a price change. Because I do not agree with this one for its price. I think it's a fantastic model. I think it's a great playset. But it's not worth $38. I don't know how many other people have talked about this. I hope other people have talked about this. Because I would love to figure out if anybody else has figured out why that is what it is. Because it's escaping me. And this is coming from somebody who's already gonna go head over heels loving this theme and embracing what's here. But and why? It just leaves me asking why, and I don't know what the answer is. Good set, bad price. That's it. And I'm not saying bad price because, Lego's too expensive. I'm saying it's had the same composure as the other ones. And yet is asking a higher amount. Look at all three of these with a little bit of build with them. So this one, you don't have much of a build to go with it. You have a little bit more in terms of like accessorizing, I guess. Then you have this one. It's got a small build to go with it, another minifigure, and more customization for like the head and things. So I think again, this is a good value. This one, really trying to fit all three of these in at the same time. Can you explain that? It's got posable hands, just like this one does. It's got a chest that opens up. So, actually, technically, wouldn't that make it less effort or less complexity to fit the figure in there, like as opposed to making a whole bunch of pieces to build up that the torso area? I don't know. Nothing else really shows up on the back of it. The legs are pretty like slim, as well as the feet. These have a lot more intricate builds to them. And then you have the flyer, which it's comparable to this, maybe a little bit more to build, but not by much. Not an insane thing to go for. And yet you could buy these two at almost the same price as this. All right. Moving on after my rant, which may or may not please people. So, Ms. Castillo's Turtle Van. I'm getting the idea that she's going to be treated as the wise sage of the group, but hopefully she's eccentric and hopefully she does much of her own thing as well. It's just kind of a thing that I want to see in stories in general, not just with Lego themes, but with stories in general. A lot of the characters are created in this teen to adult demographic, but very few times the main characters are elders. And just something that I thought would be like really cool, that it's like in general, not, again, doesn't have to be here specifically, that the elder, takes a lead, takes like control of the story. So in this one, this is one of two sets that she's featured in, which is why it leads me to believe that, I get it, it's a kid's theme. It's for, younger audiences. Therefore, they're going to have younger characters as the main, protagonists. But with this one, she's here. She's got a brand new arms and body piece with a standard connection for the head and hair. It's a unique outfit. I think it's fun. You definitely have older you definitely have senior citizens of varied statures, and nothing wrong with this out of my book. So there's another better look at the blob with the glob piece. There's another one of those nightmare guys that we saw earlier. Another character in here. I don't think they name them. At least not on here. I'd have to go back to here for it. Now, originally when I did this live stream, and rather, before the live stream, I did a video that was going to separately talk about this theme on its own. And that was like 70 minutes where I got through 8 of the 11 sets before the polybag was known. And with each of those, I mentioned that, I would try to guess the price without worrying about the piece count before looking at it on DREAMZzz. And for the most part, I was in the ballpark. This one is one of the last set I mentioned, I was completely astounded at what the price is. And I still am. Like, I did not guess it would be $38 or $40 or anything like that based on what was there. With this one, I guessed it would be about 40, and it's 48. That's all right. What I'm basically going to is there's probably more to this set than I'm looking at. That maybe there's something in the van itself that they don't show that would be very useful. Okay, so minifigures. Zoe. That's the purple-haired character we have here, Zoe. I think this is either the only set she's in or one of 2. Mateo is he's got to be the main character because he's in several of these sets. So they don't show pictures of the inside of the van. This is as close as we get. And this is with the van naturally. If you just want to put this into your Lego city, boom, done. Got it. I kind of like that. I mean, I hope that people do use it for more than that purpose, but I do like that the option is there. They have this built in a way that you could customize it with the dream elements, having it as a turtle that it can climb and move around like that, accessories on the side, things to pack on top of it. Or in the other configuration, it could be a turtle, but now it has a jetpack and flies differently, with these stuff flying around it. That's cool. That's great. But you have the option of it being just a regular van. It's cool. I just don't know what's inside of this thing. None of the official images show what you can do with it, like inside of here. And that's what I want to know. All I know is that you can remove the top of it in order to access all the interior. It looks wide enough that you could fit 2 people up front, as driver and passenger, or at least, room for a driver and maybe stuff next to them, if you're lucky. There's enough depth to it that there has to be something you could do with the rest of the space, and putting more people in here, whatever. Putting some creatures in here, accessories, something. I don't know if there's an actual build inside of here, but I hope there is. Considering the Lego vans that have been created up to this point, especially in Creator, I'd like to see that. I'd like to know that there's something else that can be done inside of here. Or city, a lot of city vans and campers and things like that. I didn't pick up the van for this year from Creator, but I'm still curious about that one. But I imagine, a similar mentality going with this. I do like the shaping here. I do like the sand green and white color scheme with this. So yeah, it's got some good stuff. I do like that you can actually make it a turtle van, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles turtle van, but instead it's the turtle wearing the van as a shell. That's clever. Shells kind of have that rounded design that like an older van like this would have. That's fine. It looks great. And as I noted on Instagram and I think Twitter, it looks like the kind of thing you would see inspired by My Neighbor Totoro, where it has a cat bus. Like literally a large, commuter bus or school bus that is with a cat face on it and cat legs around it. You're riding a cat. It's more integrated than this one being, oh, the van is the shell of it, but you know what I mean. Some people have said that the head looks a little creepy. Honestly, I think this is a good use of that Hero Factory headpiece. It's got a nice rounded nature to it. It doesn't feel too gappy. It does have a little bit on the side, but it feels proper for the shape it's going for. Like, it integrates into the rest of this very smoothly. And unlike some other examples like Clayface, it doesn't feel like it's part of it. Like, it's just kind of tacked on. Now, after looking through the description of the set, I also noticed, by the way, we have another small build to go with this. Whether or not it can go on top of here, but this is nice. You got those large fern pieces, the newer sword fern pieces that you can use to build this nice little palm tree. You got a little treasure chest. It holds some stuff in there. You got what I believe is a chili, because it was a carrot before. Now it looks like a chili. This is adorable. When I read the description for the set, I was hoping that this thing would be called Cactus, because it's got a cat face and it's shaped like a cactus. And if I click over here, Cactus. A little bit of a missed opportunity there, but all right. I personally, my headcanon, if I may, I'm calling it a cactus. Catus. Cactus. Just pull out a couple of those letters. I think that works. As long as I can see more of what the interior of this thing is like, how playable it can be, I can get a better... I can get a little more comfortable with the price point. That's like, it's not just vacant. And you can actually use some of this space. It actually has stuff in there. There's something to build and something to explore with it than what's on the outside. Then I would be up for that. Still not a bad price per piece, or just price for what the model is given. But that is something that I would like to learn more about. And that may be like, oh, I have to put off on getting the set so that I can watch a review of it, and then I'll get to see it. Or I have to look up the instructions or something. I don't think... No. Okay. Instructions are not online. I thought they were for a second. I was like, wait, they're on the LEGO website? Actually, I'm going to do one more look here. Building instructions. No. Sorry, convention. So they have like the entry, like there will be some, but you can't download the PDF. Okay. Whatever. That's fine. This is gorgeous. This is another one of the sets. I'm really looking forward to this theme. Like one of my top sets. Just by this appearance. Pegasus Flying Horse. Love this thing. Fan-freaking-tastic. I estimated this was going to be like a $50 set. And $50 is the price. Bingo bungo. This one's got our Nightmare King. It's one of two sets that has a Nightmare King. It does have Izzy. Or no. Zoe. As a returned minifigure. And this is cool. Again, a nightmare-centric set where you have, you know, this Pegasus, this horse. You know, it's got some villains to go with it. This is an interesting headpiece. This is a phenomenal looking figure. Look at that. This is like Demon Bone King from or Bone Demon King from Monkey Kid level of, you know, creepy but awesome. I don't know who this girl is. We'll have to look at that in just a sec. Let's see here. Susan. Okay. And I think these are supposed to be pajamas. I think some of the other minifigures had this pajama vibe to them. This looks like his pajamas with a sleeping sloth as a torso. That's cool. I like the hairpiece as well. I feel like we've seen it before, but not often. This is a cool hairpiece as well. It feels like it's from Nexo Knights, but I think it's a different design. This is really cool. Good selection. So as I was saying, this is another set that is more centric to nightmare stuff and fighting against them. But it's got a twist. Unlike the last one where it didn't have any changeable features, this one does. This one so does. This is awesome. This is fantastic. This is what I would like to see. Because you can literally turn this Pegasus into a horse. Okay, not exciting. But you take the wings from the horse and make it into a glider. It's its own vehicle. It's its own separate thing. Imagine that this thing is charging towards you. And then the top of it just like this does. I don't even think this takes reassembly either. I think it just literally pops off of the back of it. And it's like, boom! Now you got two things chasing you. How about that? How about that for some nightmare fuel? As far as I can tell, this cage doesn't change between the two models. We don't have a picture of the other one, do we? No. Okay. This doesn't really change between the models, which is fine. But it's exciting nonetheless. But then you do have one thing that does change. You have this bird in the front. Fine. New front pieces. That's cool. Changes it into a butterfly. This one, I'm not sure if all of the pieces get reused. It looks like some of them are not used, or they're blocked away from the wings or something like that. I'm not sure. Because like these pieces, I only see 2 of these and there's 6 here. I don't know. So we'll find out. But still an interesting design to it. One flying vehicle into another. That's fine. This is so cool. It's got a great build to it. The only thing that worries me, as I said before, posability. This horse doesn't look like it really has a lot of articulation. These pieces are kind of made to be one particular way. They might have a little bit of moving back and forth, but you're not going to get this horse to lower itself or a different kind of gallop to it or anything like that. You could probably still move the legs and pose them that way, but there's no knees, there's no joint in between that it could, change its position like that. This looks like it could change, so that's okay. This looks like it could change there, kind of there as well. So, yeah, but it's still a great design. I think this part of the neck is where it articulates, but this whole thing is pretty much stuck as is, which is something that I would like to modify about it, to be able to turn the head, like, with the whole neck, moving it back and forth. Maybe if there's room, I can make the mouth open. That would be kind of neat. Like, maybe the mouth could spit fire or something. I don't know. I think it would be kind of cool. If 482 pieces, $50, this is fair. I think this is perfectly fine. It's a large-looking creature. It has a lot of extra parts to it, extra little builds to it, and, some of them that could separate to make an even more elaborate play scene out of it. I like that. This is fine. I like this one. This is another one of my top sets. So it's between Pegasus Flying Horse, Bunshu the Bunny. Technically, Z-Blob should be in there as well, just for the value of it. When I had posted on Twitter, I mentioned there were 4, almost 5 sets, and the 5th one was the Turtle Van, mostly just because I want to see what the inside's like. But, concept-wise, so far it's good. Crocodile Car. This is a very unique looking set. And this is what I like to see. This is what this theme should be about. This is what it needs to carry. Once again, just like the Turtle Van set, you can have this as a car. This is a perfectly fine car model. It may have a couple of little things here, but you could write that off as greebling. But it also gives you the potential that you can add more stuff onto it, even if you're not adding the crocodile stuff, like in the example shown here. You can make this car more customizable because it has all these extra bits to go from, whether you use the parts from the set or not. So I like this one. This is a very nice looking vehicle. Like, even as a car, it looks nice. And I don't say that often about liking the vehicle sets more than the building sets. So with this one, it has a firing function in the center. This little blue disc can fire out of it. It has a lever in the back that basically actuates it, if I'm understanding correctly. That's my best guess as to why this is peeking out here. Is that it pushes something that goes through here that fires this. And it looks like the kind of thing, like if you're holding this, you're going to hold it mostly from the back, and then your thumb is going to rest right on top of that. So it'd be like, bam. Now, moving on from there, this is a car that can hold 2 people. You can see 2 people inside of here. Very interesting for the alternate way of building it. Still looks like a car, or still functions like a car, but has a lot of crocodile detailing around it. This is a lot of reworking from the main model in the box. Even having this little boat to go with it, that's cool. You get another vehicle out of it then. There you go. They have other 2 vehicles as well on here with the Nightmare theming. More unique characters as well. I believe they're unique to this set only. I'm not sure. Might be in the bigger set too. That's a great design. I love this design. I like that the scarf, even like the cape that we saw before, has like this monstrous, almost claw-like feel to it, while also still being, a drifting, tattered, piece of clothing, or looking like that. Very unique. I think this is the Thanos head, if I'm understanding correctly, just by the size of it. I think it's the same, shape head as Thanos. And I don't remember who else, if anybody else had used that. Once again, we got our boy Jaden, which he's definitely bananas. So we have another Dreamling, but this one's in a different color. I don't know if they elaborate on that, but maybe the web series will elaborate on that. That's actually coming out soon. Like the full series apparently is coming out like May 15th, 14th, sometime soon. Very nice. And this is a character we've already seen before, but now he has a bigger tracksuit outfit to him. I thought he was a robot at first. I was misled, but he is actually, I believe he's Connor. Let me pull that up again. Cooper, that's it. And Night Hunter. Night Hunter being this minifigure right here. These, I guess, are not named as minifigures in here or any of the other sets. I feel like Bricklink might classify them as minifigures, though. Just saying. I wanted to see if there's anything else in the description I should be aware of. Okay, $60 set. Yeah. This is when you look at this now as a crocodile, you'd say, yeah, $60 set. Between that, the larger bike, the small bike to go with it. This bike has room to fit Jaden on here and sleep on him. So that works. It's a little bit less bed-like, to be fair, but still gets the job done. Still has the idea. So yeah, the crocodile looks amazing. Love the way this looks. Love the color scheme. I don't know why, but this bright yellow really works with the rest of this. And I also like that it's a crocodile, but it doesn't have to be stereotypically gray or green. Or hidden side albino crocodile in tan. So let me try that again. Hidden Side had an albino crocodile in tan. And this theme has it in blue, dark blue, azure, just all different shades of blue. That's amazing. That's great. That gives like the color scheme already gives me a reptilian vibe. Usually thinking of a frog, like a poison dart frog, that kind of vibrancy. But it works in a different reptile. It's great. I like it. I'm all for it. I would not mind building the main model, even though you don't get like a side boat build to go with it. Because it's got a great presence to it. I'm sure that this thing can like swing back and forth. There's no other picture here. There's this picture though. It's got a hairpiece to go with the helmet. Very nice. Not a lot of joints again, but okay. Again, something that might be. Oh, okay. Never mind. It does have some joints there. It just didn't show up that well in that other image here. Just looks very blocked. Yeah, $60. That's not bad. We got 4 more to go, and I'm already an hour and a half in. Clearly, I'm gushing about this for a good thing. I want to deeply, thoroughly go through this. So next up, Stable of Dream Creatures. I'm figuring story-wise, this is probably a residence for Mrs. Castillo, that she has this place. I wonder if she lives in the dream world or if it's like an alternate version of her house, where it's like if she's asleep, she has a house like this, that's in the dreamscape. The thing that kind of disappoints me about this set, the house doesn't change. Now, we've already had a building set. We've had the village set where the houses can be rearranged, or, the little buildings can stack and customize with each other. This does not change, from what I can tell. It's a little bit of change, because you can see, like, the flowers here become the flowers here, and some of the tree working here is what goes into here. But beyond that, most of this is about the elk. Or I think it's an elk. Something deer-like. That's getting this makeover, which is fine. I think it's actually really cool. I would like it if that was a feature of the elk itself, that it's like able to blossom in different ways, maybe different seasons or something like that. Maybe changing based on its mood. That would be neat. That would be very cool. I don't know just yet, but yeah, that's basically the changeable part of the set. The house itself remains the same. It's a little bit of a concern for me, just because I try to look at these images. I want to see more of the house, and all I see is the elk, because they put it front and center in these images for the box art. But you can kind of see through here, there's like a mill that you can turn this to make the windmill in the front spin. Not a lot of space for much else up here. Like a little bit for figures and accessories, not much else. You've got the doorway here that leads out to a stable. You've got this fenced area that also extends the stable to the back. You got the ladder. Okay. There's something behind the ladder. I can't really see what it is here. Don't know how accessible that is. Door, obviously. Stove, little kitchen area, and then somewhere to eat on the side. It's very small, but packs something. Excuse me. It does have some features. It does have some things to do. I was just kind of expecting for a set that's nearly $80 that it would do a bit more. It can fold out, so you get a little better access with it, sure. But it's kind of lackluster for the building aspect of it. Not even that it's not too deep, but just like, what else is the thing capable of? I'm wondering if you can get more out of the interior of the turtle van than you can from this building. And that one, I don't know anything about the interior. You know what I mean? But you do get a good selection of characters to go with this as well. Mrs. Castillo once again, Ziblob, a couple of Dreamlings. You get Izzy, you get Zoe, and you get Cooper. This is the third set with Cooper. This is the second set with Zoe. Maybe third. It might be third. And then the second set with Izzy. But Izzy looks like she's in a different outfit. Or maybe something feels different here for her outfit. Let me see. No, I guess it's just shoulder pads. Okay. My mistake. Cooper's here with his more racer outfit. Because the only set that has a more casual wear is this one, Grimkeeper. Zoe pretty much the same, maybe a little bit of one or two things off her back. But yeah, okay. It's 681 pieces for $80. I do like the light aqua as well that goes through here. I like the cactus makes a return and even has its own signage. But I still feel like it should have more to it. Like, even when I look at a Lego stable from, like, Friends or something. Let me bring it up. And I'll do it by, yeah, it's sorted by retail price. So here's one from Minecraft, about $20 or so, if I recall correctly. Clearly identifying what's a stable, some area around it. You know, area to run through. Mia's fall stable. Small, sure. But got a little bit more going with it. Even got a vehicle with it. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I have that minifigure. I don't have the whole set, but I do have the figure. Heartlake Stables. This set was $50 back in 2012. Whatever that means for today money, I'm not sure. $50 in 2012 is worth $66 today. So at today's money of $66, almost $70, look at this place. Look at this stable. It's got several different places to go. You've got a well here. You've got a place to sit inside. I've never owned this set. But almost does feel a little empty here and there, though, I guess. Because that sitting area is basically up here. So, yeah, I guess it's less house-like than the other option. I don't know. Something about it feels like it should offer something more or extended. Not entirely sure. It's okay. I would still want to get this one eventually, but probably not all too right away. And let me just check with the website. Make sure that it's on par. Yep, $80. Because I thought there was another one or two of these sets that the price changed. And I didn't understand it. Okay, so next up at $100, Mr. Oz's Space Bus. It looks a little more conventional. It's got a very solid color scheme with it, you know, between the white, some blues, trans blues, media measure, it feels kind of like the Zblob mech. It's not bad for what it is, but it's not as vibrant as some of the other sets. And the school bus extension in there adds a bit more color to it, so it does help there. Even though that area is just literally one cab of the bus and a little bit off to the sides. Once again, we don't know the interior of this vehicle, so it's kind of hard for me to recommend this or to get hyped to get this one, because what am I able to play with on the inside? Are there things inside I can take out of it? You know, the hidden side school bus, it basically opens from the back, slides the whole portion out, and you could sit multiple figures in there doing different things. What can this one do? Does it open from the sides? You know, does it open from the back as well? How many figures can you fit in here? Obviously, we know we can fit one up front for the pilot, but there's got to be room to fit other ones around here and do other things. So it does have a couple of alternate builds with it. Basically taking some of the engine details off the top and the sides of it. So you either have one big cannon or something on top of it with a flying vehicle to the side, which is cool. That's not bad. Or you have it as a couple of big engines here and a turret on the top of it. Okay, that's fine. Now with this one, we got a lot of these small guys that all have really funny names. I don't think they're listed here. No, okay. They're not listed here, but they are fun to read. Mateo has a cape in this one, which he does not have in some of the other sets, which is different. Looks more complete. They got Dr. Oz. From what I can tell from the trailers, he's a middle school teacher and is still familiar with this whole dreamscape thing. Don't know if he's the one introducing it or, you know, has like been on his own about it for a while. And he's like, oh, you kids know this too? The kind of thing. I do wonder if we get more traditional uniform with him underneath the armor or what else is here. He's still got the same hourglass logo with it as well. This, I believe, is supposed to be a chimpanzee of some kind. Interesting. It's got a little bubble to go with him. It's fitting the space vibe. See Blob. Got another one of these guys. Let me open up this one. Oh yeah, the character's great. I do like these little guys. And okay, Mr. Oz's monkey, Albert, Zblob, and Susan. So they don't count it as a minifigure. Susan's in here? Wait. Is the blue guy Susan? Was I calling the other figure the wrong thing? Which set was that? This one. Pegasus Flying Horse. Three minifigures, Zoe, Nova, and the Nightmare King, plus a figure of Susan. Maybe Susan's one of the winged ones. Okay. These little guys. Okay. I'm fine with that. I just got confused for a bit. Yeah, it doesn't say the names here, which I thought it would. But yeah, each of these guys had like really clever names. If I hop over to Twitter and go to George Juliet's, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. There we go. That's cool. Should be somewhere in this thread, if I remember correctly. They go through. Maybe they don't. Oh, so yeah, he asked in here, which are your favorites, and list these four. I think I put mine in a quoted retweet. Oh, there's even social media for Izzy Dreams. Okay. Interesting. But they do that. Okay, yeah. So his four were the two mechs, the turtle van, and we'll take a look at this one in just a bit. For me, oh, I didn't say it here. Oops. I said most of the same ones. Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking at. So the Pegasus, definitely the crocodile car, the big ship. Yeah, I had at least two of them that matched. Yeah, I'll have to look up the names later. Where are they? Will it bring it up if I put Dreams? Almost good at Galador. Similar vibe. I'll give you that. The artwork does resemble it. Oh my gosh. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Nick. Oh, Nick. Brilliant. Brilliant observation here. I love it. A+, buddy. I mean, I know he's a Lego designer, so obviously, yeah. Oh my gosh. That's cool. They have a giant brick built one in his little room. Look at that boy. He's got a hat. Nice little classic hat. It's got to be in here somewhere. Yeah, I thought maybe it had like the lab coat or something. I don't know if you will. In the minifig. What is this? Like a walkthrough exhibit? Or like a press thing? It's really cool though. That's cool. That shows between them. I thought I would find it. Must be more buried, I guess. All right. Well, either way, they do have names. I don't know if the names will appear somewhere else, but these guys do have names, much as Susan does, and they're great names. They're very punny names. I like them. All right. Moving on from there, you know, a lot of small characters. So it's not a lot of actual minifigures, but these will do. These are fun to have play around. You could invade different parts of the ship or something like that. So it's neat. For $100, again, I just want to see what the interior of this thing is like. The front of it keeps reminding me of the Quinjet because they've used the same canopy piece for the Quinjet and even the sticker over that with like this metal framing. So there's that. But yeah, I just want to see what more this thing is capable of in here. Okay, next up, Fantastical Treehouse. Oh, by the way, price checking. Yes, 100. Fantastical Treehouse, 1257 pieces. A couple minifigs to go with this one as well. And this definitely has a lot of things going on with it. Another one of these kinds of cage monsters, but in a smaller size. But still gets the job done. I don't know if there's a It's probably the closest photo we'll get of it near up close. But see, common pieces that can be built on your own. Could make another one like this to go along with it. I think it's great. Another appearance of the Night Hunter. We've got Izzy, Mateo once again. Ms. Castillo is in a third set. I don't know if we have any other. This one's a repeat, but I don't remember what name it had, if it had a name. Now, okay, there we go. There's all the figures. This one having the cape again. This one having the, proper outfit. Got this little mushroom guy again. This is great. I like this guy. I like the other set of them too. Like just the fact that he exists. These are great little figures. And let's see. You also have this like little robot over here. I guess you could sort of count that. Interesting thing about this set, once again, this is the plain version or planar version. Yeah, that's the photo that they use to say this is a base form. What you can add on to this to accentuate it even further. So you got like all those little rooms for the house, for the little balconies and things like that can be added onto here on these branches in different ways from what it looks like. They all have the same kind of construction, so you could fit them different ways. You could probably build more to add on to this yourself, so that's good. I like that. In addition to this robot, a couple other things around here, this firing thing, and of course the villains. So that's what it looks like when it's all together. You have this little plant here. That's cool. It's just a mailbot. He's designed to look like a mailbox, and he's carrying a letter. It must be a mailbot, I guess. A little signage all around here as well. It's a little globby kind of looking house. So it's probably like, yeah, they have their own rooms, and they have the look there. My thoughts on misprints. Like in general? Lego is very high-end in terms of quality assurance, as well as price point and, and things like that. All right, no problem, Sega. Lego's very high-end when it comes to the quality assurance and having, like, top-of-the-line products and production. So, misprints, I don't mind them because it doesn't happen all the time. It's every so often kind of thing usually. It's not like, there's one piece that's always made, always has an error. Like, reddish brown. Whatever's in the pigment or whatever's in the granules that make reddish brown, that needs to be fixed, because that's been a problem not only recently, but has been a problem for over a decade of that piece being of that color being produced. Whereas misprints, you own some rare misprints? Oh, cool. I've seen a few of them, but I don't know if I've really owned any. There's one that I've always been speculative about, but I don't know if it just wore from time or something else. Basically, I had a Woody figure from Woody and Buzz to the Rescue from Toy Story 3. And I think some reason in my head, it felt like after I built that set, it arrived with like a faded printing on the torso. I don't know for sure. And I'd have to look at the figure again. Maybe I imagined it or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't know for sure if that was a misprint, even though that was my childhood copy of the set. So jury's out on that if I have that. I do have a shortstop figure, which is when two colors blending together, don't meet at the right point that they're supposed to in production. Okay. I hope he posts about them. That's cool. But yeah, as far as misprints, I don't mind that they exist as long as it's not commonplace or like every time this figure's produced, it has this misprint. like clone figures. Let's see if I can bring it up through Bricklink. It might help. Especially ones that are based on like the Clone Wars. They have very subtle misprinting, or at least it feels like it's subtle misprinting to me. Oops, wrong one. This head in particular, I've come across dozens of times. Right, not enough plastic gets in the mold. That's right. Maybe I'm using the wrong term. The piece I'm thinking of is it's a Monkey Kid headpiece where it's like there's red for the headband and then there's another color, black or brown, for the actual hair. My copy from the Flower Fruit Mountain set has some of the red leaning into the hair. Do you have a Discord so I can show them? Yeah, I do. I don't have a public Discord channel, but I do have an account on Discord. Let me see. Okay, there we go. I'll throw it in here. So yeah, with this headpiece itself, I've come across this numerous times, and the eyes, especially the eyes, would be slightly off in left or right orientation, and it wouldn't always be dead center. So it's like a very subtle misprint that I've seen numerous times, but it doesn't really like negate from the figure that much. I might actually be able to bring it up here on stream, actually. I took a photo of them yesterday. I think it was either yesterday or the day before. Let me look back. Yeah, it was the day before. Okay, hold on a sec. I'm gonna do this. And then wait for that to pop up. Oh, wait. Okay. Go here. There we go. Like, look between these two. And you can see this one looks like he's facing this direction. This one facing this direction. I mean, it's not the clearest photo for both heads. But even then, you can tell that there's, more brown on this side than there is on this side for the same face. Like, that's kind of a more subtle example. So yeah, misprints, I'm fine with them as long as they're rare or on like less common or less noticeable. If it was every time it was made, then of course it would be a problem. It wouldn't really help anything. Okay, we can get Ripley out of here. So going back here, so yeah, this one I believe is 120. No, 110. I estimated this was 120. And then was like, oh, it's only 110? That's not bad. So I think, yeah, this is a suitable build for that price. And 110 here as well. Good. Okay. So yeah, this one I would be very interested in. I'm curious if the rooms have anything else to them because they look rather short. So I don't know how much could really be packed in them, but I like the concept nonetheless. That you have all these little modules you can change around with the larger, tree surrounding it. And then last but not least, I believe, last but not least, we've got the Nightmare Shark Ship. This is the largest set so far in the theme, 1389 pieces. This thing is wonderful. It does show up in the teaser for the animation, with literally just the boat being put on top of the shark and like fusing with it. It's cool. But it's just a great, great design. Love this thing all the way around. Again, one of my top sets that I'm looking forward to in this theme. I'm not going to buy it day one, at least not right now. Don't think I'm convinced for day one yet, but I'm definitely up for seeing what this is all about. So this one, you could you have the base of the boat and the shark, and you could either add wings onto the sides of it, and use some of these wing pieces for the masts, for the sails on top of it. And then you got the engines on the sides, or you can take those pieces and build these giant turrets on the front of the crow's nest, and then you have wheels on the bottom to roll it around. That's great. You have a flying vehicle and you have a rolling vehicle, and both of them work together very nicely. So there's our base vehicle. There's a base of how it looks. From what I'm looking at here, I think this is a bed. I think this undercarriage rib area is supposed to be a bed and, prison kind of thing. I do like that there's a little hook, a little anchor kind of thing, and you can use this as this piece can turn as a winch. I'm trying to look at this a little bit closer now. The sand blue, I didn't mention it before when I was talking about the color scheme for the nightmare stuff. This introduces sand blue, which honestly kind of looks nice with the pearl dark gray, the dark bluish gray. I kind of like that. It's got a little turret up here as well. It's got a little throne and steering wheel there. A lot of these, handcuffs being used for decoration. You probably could just use them as handcuffs if you wanted to, though. Just take them right off and throw them on somebody. It's got a cabin underneath, which I can't really see that far into, but it looks like a flintlock in there. But I'm sure there's room for something else or to do something else in there. I do wonder if there's more to the bottom of this as well that could be expanded upon. But I don't know for sure right now. Shark head is a shark head, but it looks nice. It's a very zombie-looking shark head. It also reminds me a little bit of Beetlejuice in that color scheme. It looks very nice. So yeah, somebody can sit down in there as a prison. Got these up here. Okay. You got the giant eyeball that can fly around. That's cool. I'm sure it's been done before, but it still looks great here. I like it. And then our minifigures. So Z-Blob or another species, like another one in its species. I'm not sure. We got this character again, who apparently is not Susan. This is Susan, not this Susan. I don't know who this is, but they're back again as well. Third time appearance. This is the third time appearance. This is the second, I believe. This is the second or third. Mateo with a cape again. So they're only giving Mateo the cape in the larger sets. But still got the look in the smaller ones. That's okay. You got Izzy in here once again from, the Bunshi and a few other sets. And then Nightmare King once again in here. Yeah. Yeah, I am digging this thing. I like that, yeah, the eye can sit here kind of guarding this cabin area. But then you, like you said, like we had before, you can pull that off and have it flying around. Which it looks like, yeah, is part of the reconfiguration from one to the other. Okay. That's fine. But this has got to be one boss set. It's a description. Like, even in size of it. Measures over 12 inches high, 23 inches long. Yeah. Foot by 2 feet. Yeah, that's nice. That's very cool. I am very much looking forward to this one. $140. is okay. Given the size of this thing, I'm hoping that like holds up with the price of it. Again, hoping that there's a little bit more to do with it, so that it feels good that way as well. But yeah, not bad. So I'm really looking forward to this theme. I'm really looking forward to everything that Lego Dreams can offer. Meet the new Lego Dreams TV series. What if everything you dreamed of was real? See kids' creativity flourish as they journey into a world of fantastical creatures, unimaginable realms, and endless possibilities. It's got like this trailer that you can play through the site. Lego Dreams, our new Lego theme where dreams are real and imagination conquers evil. As their ordinary lives turn extraordinary upon discovering a dream world, Izzy and Mateo fight to save dreamers from the Nightmare King. Okay. Why choose dreams? Turns out dreaming's a big deal. In fact, 2/3 of the 23,000 kids we spoke to in our research consider dreams an important way to be creative. 2/3! Hell yeah. That one's cute with the dress. That's fun. On how and why we made the dreams a core concept of our show. So this is more of like the show appearance of Z-Blob with the mech. So again, giving a little Ripley vibe there for me. But that's fine. So we got Mateo, Izzy, Zoe. I scroll through. We got Cooper, Mr. Oz, with the classic space on his torso. Don't think I ignored that. Logan, we don't have a physical minifigure of him yet. Nightmare King, and the Night Hunter. Gotta love a mysterious guy in a trench coat with a hook, am I right? I know it's a trope, but hey, it's still neat to see here. Your child could join our group of Chief Dream Creators. Enter from May 20th. Okay, next Friday. Not sure what that's about. So again, that's what the show version of the Bunchi looks like. So I had another idea for building a Dreams mock before the theme comes out, and that is to make a dreamboat that would attach like a small one would be a dreamboat, like a dinghy, something around that size, that would load into the Snooze Cruise. Yeah, original, punny. I love it. I do have a lot of Transdark Pink pieces recently, so I could use some of those to make more Nightmare mocks. I have to look through my yellowish green pieces because I don't know how many I have loosely that I'm not already tied up to like a set or anything right now, or other places I can resource them. So this is what that $38 thing is supposed to be in universe. Okay, fine. I like that there's like fantastical elements to each of these, aside from just, mashing together two different ideas. I've talked before about the Crocodile Ballet, which I think would be fun to try to build as a Lego thing. Literally just a crocodile in a battle arena tutu. That's what I've drawn a couple of years ago, just by chance. And maybe that could work in a theme like this. Just one of those kinds of creatures that might be on the might be in the stable or something, I want to see the Lego Life magazine issue with this. Download the magazine, see them all. They don't have this issue out there yet, do they? Yeah, some of these I can pick up in the Lego store, and some of them I don't see there. So I don't know. Is there an age limit? Appropriate for ages 6 and up. You bet. We're not just going to make it to the show and nothing else. There'll be 10 initial episodes in season 1. Okay. You can watch Lego Dreams series on Netflix, Amazon Prime, YouTube, or right here on Lego.com. Good. Good. Don't keep it a site exclusive. Because they did that with Netflix, with Bionicle Journey to 1. I still haven't watched that thing because I haven't really used Netflix. Keep forgetting it's exclusively on there. Amazon Prime, they don't exclusively have Monkey Kid episodes, but they do have them as one of the few legitimate, genuine resources in North America. So that I can at least say in this Western Hemisphere, it's a lot less. It's a lot harder to find them than it is out west, but or I should say out east. It's definitely geared towards the east, as the whole theme, conception, distribution, and so on. But the sets are out here, and I still want those sets. I want to be influenced, with those sets, and I've bought some of them because I got the context of the show. But it took me a while because when I first saw them, I was like, "Why would they do this?" And then they pull them back from being in the Lego shops, the Lego stores, to being just online in North America. It's a bummer. Because it's like, I like seeing those sets in the stores. And I most likely buy them in the stores over buying them online. So yeah, I am very much looking forward to this theme. I'm looking forward to the show to get more context and story. And most importantly, I'm looking forward to building mocks based off of this theme. I haven't built mocks based on the theme in a long time. And even when I have thought about it in recent years, I still have yet to pull that together. But now I'm like, I want to do this. I definitely have parts I can use for it. And I want to see this thing through, even if I don't have the sets yet. Now, Life on Mars is another one where it's like, I have all the retail sets. Almost everything Life on Mars I own. Barring for a couple polybags here and there. And I know what kind of parts I can work with to make stuff to branch off of them. Like to build mocks based off of them. Like, light gray, dark gray. But even to the point of like, this is one of my favorite things, and this is definitely an inspiration for me to go further into the theme. I just misspelled it. There is, I have to go through here. Yeah, there we go. The Aerotube hanger set features a piece from Insectoids. Well, first of all, this piece itself is used, and I think this piece is used as well in some of the Life on Mars sets, even though it takes place, as far as I'm concerned, either doesn't take place at all with Insectoids or sometime afterwards. But that's a brick theory for another day. What they do have, though, it's this piece in dark gray. They use this in the Aerotube hanger set. And then the similar one that I clicked on at first, much larger version of that, I'd love to use that in a Life on Mars mock. I know that I can source that part. I probably even have some of them already. So if I can build a base that will feature that as part of the architecture or even into a vehicle, that'd be amazing. Or even using these, those are used in there. Obviously, want to cover the sand purple, sand red, sand blue, sand green. Love those colors. Want to add those in. Sand Green kind of got the short end of the stick, surprisingly, with Life on Mars, and yet has outlived most of the other sand colors. That's what I find fascinating. Because yeah, there's this set in particular, Red Planet Cruiser, that features sand green and green. But then it's like some of the smaller hovercrafts in various sets have a little bit of it. But you don't see anything major in retail until you get to Aerotube Hangar, where it's like very subtly added to this mech. You could remove it from there and it could be just fine. You wouldn't even notice. That's why I find like it's kind of surprising that sand green, they don't use it that much in this theme the way they use other colors. Like sand purple gets integrated in different spots, this set in particular. Sand red and sand blue, several different vehicles have them. Obviously the bigger mechs carry some of that. Let's see them in there in sand blue. Even some sand blue on here, I think. Or is that medium blue? I forget which. Got sand blue here as well. So yeah, it's like if I have more of those parts, I would love to use those to expand upon these models. You know what's surprising here? This particular photo, I don't think shows a lot of the sand red that the set actually has. Maybe it was like a prototype photo or something. Because I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be sand red. This is supposed to be sand red. This back here should be sand red. And some of the other ones are too shaded to tell. I think this piece of front is sand red. Interesting. At least this one, you can see the sand blue. There, up there. Yeah, anyways. And tan. Tan is just in this set. And like one small vehicle. It's got a wide color distribution. Tan and brown, yeah. It's got a wide color distribution in this whole theme. A lot of color schemes going on with different things. And yet now I'm looking at it and I'm like, they actually use it in, like, it was mainly used like only a few different sets. I don't know. I'd still like to do something more with it, obviously. But what I'm trying to say is that's a theme that I've wanted to build stuff. I wanted to build mocks to further it. I just haven't done that yet. But DREAMZzz is definitely in that way, and I don't even own the sets yet. That's how exciting these are to me. So I'm looking forward to this theme. I'm looking forward to hearing more about this. Like I said before, the trailer is on YouTube. Should be on the official LEGO YouTube channel, if I recall correctly. Yep, DREAMZzz original series cinematic trailer. Then we have a 5-minute short, 5.5-minute short here. Dream Chasers the Rescue teaser short. And then episode 1, Awakening, premiering on the 15th. Can I, like, notify? Yeah, there we go. You can see right there. Okay. I thought I would bring up the other episodes. Maybe they only do this one at a time. So, cool. Yeah. Looking forward to it. All right. So that was, instead of it being 70 minutes talking about 8 of the 11 or 12 sets, it was 2 hours talking about 12 sets. Because, oh man, am I excited. Somebody actually did ask for they were looking forward to my thoughts on this theme. Like I said before, I did have a 6-hour live stream where I covered that as well as other Lego themes and news. And that footage, for some reason, has been uploaded to YouTube yet. So I will just check back and see. Maybe it got sent the wrong way or didn't fully upload or something like that. But hopefully that will show up. And when it does, I'll try to get timestamps in there. This one I'm not going to do timestamps because it's all for the same theme. But that other one, it's like, oh, we got a bunch of different topics. So, we'll do it that way. You won't see me day one with any of these sets just for now. But I will try for it. LEGO does pay attention to early sales and releases, like the first 2 or 3 months of the launch of a wave of sets or a wave of a theme. And I know this from speaking with other LEGO store employees in the past when it comes to things like video or Monkey Kid. And this is still something that I want to see do well. This is something that I want to, actively support myself, but also, hopefully other people will jump on with it as well. Because not only does this have like a great premise for it and a lot of potential for growth, but also it opens the door for LEGO IPs. It allows us in a way to show that we can have more things originally crafted by LEGO and their own story, with their own products without having to rely on other sources. We have a lot of those as it is. And even if they're one-offs, it's been dominant for a long time. It has been a long time since the days of multiple IPs in the same year, where you would have, Pharaoh's Quest, Alien Conquest, Monster Fighters, Galaxy Squad on the horizon, like Dino 2012, like that kind of stuff, where it's like a whole lot of different things that short, but can do something unique. I wouldn't mind if this theme lasted only 2 years instead of like the traditional 3 or whatever. But I want them to make good on it if they do. Hidden Side, yes, I would have loved that to continue longer, but we still got a lot for what it was. So I can't be too upset about it. And I do have them, so I still can embrace those. As opposed to, like, if I missed a set or a whole wave of a set, like some people definitely did, this would be more heart-wrenching. It would be much more difficult. They'll be like, oh, man, it just came and went, But I got to be here for the ride, to see all these sets through. I mean, heck, I had a presentation at a lug meeting for the first wave of Hidden Side sets. I don't even know if that's on YouTube. I kind of wonder. I know it was recorded, but I don't know if it was ever uploaded to YouTube. Yeah, there you go. That was my video. Well, my presentation. No, I'm not the one who recorded the video, but yeah, I even wore a Galliano shirt. I forgot about that. Yes. Oh my gosh, I should post that again because it's fun to like talk it through. I didn't add the stickers onto any of the sets because I just wanted to show like, what they are like without stickers on them. I'm moving my arms in real life right now the way I'm moving them in this video preview. Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to link that over on the community tab if you want to see more about that. I'll try to remember to link in the description down below for the DREAMZzz stuff that's on the official LEGO YouTube channel. You can just look it up, LEGO DREAMZzz, like I did. And again, I hope you join along with me. I would love to see what other people make. I want to see some completely weird stuff. And I mean weird in a good way. I mean weird in a Unikitty way. I mean weird in a LEGO movie way. I mean completely out there concepts. That's the beauty of art in general. That's the beauty of LEGO, as a medium that you can just craft all these different things that may not exist in real life, but they could still have a cohesion to it. They could still have something remarkable to enjoy about it. Cy O'Connor, you're just joining in. As I was wrapping up the stream, I do apologize. I've been going for 2 hours, almost 2.5 hours, gushing about this Lego theme and highly supporting it. I still don't understand about that one set, the Grim Gatekeeper one being $38. That just seems like a ludicrous. I really think that's a problem. I really think that's like they typed the wrong number in as an error and needs to be corrected. Maybe it'll be corrected when the set's released. I'm not sure. But for right now, there's like a couple of them that I really do enjoy. So if I go back, go to products. So this pirate ship, love this thing. Love this thing all the way through. I still want to see if there's more interior to it, but I could say that about all of these sets. But fantastic design. Really nice all the way through. Miss Castillo's Turtle Van, once again, I want to see what more potential is inside of this thing. Like, what else can you do with the van? What things are tucked away in there? Can I use anything inside of that? How many figures can you store in there? Things like that. But on the surface, it looks pretty good. It's very charming. The Mateo and Z-Blob, the robot, I really like this one. I think it's a very good value. Like, compared to some of the other sets, in terms of the versatility, it's a pretty good value. Crocodile Car, I think it's got a great appearance to it. I think it's a great design here. The alternate model for it carries it very nicely, even though it's a lot of rebuilding, but also gives you another vehicle to work with. So, a little bit more play with that. I don't know exactly how the functions work, but I'm still, intrigued as to how it's built into it. I like these extra bikes that are on it as well. Pegasus Flying Horse, phenomenal. Really like this one. Definitely one of my favorites. It just needs a little more posability, in my opinion. But otherwise, I love that the wings can pop off of this thing. Pop those wings. Am I right? For those who are with me at Hidden Side, you know what I'm talking about. You can pop the wings off of this thing, and it becomes another thing on its own. And this transforms. That's great. They really get a lot out of this one particular thing. Like, if this was the only Nightmare set that I started out with, that would be fine. Because it already gives you like 3 or 4 different things to work from. If you count the Susan, the figure here. The bunny, love this one. Love the vibrant design. Love the color scheme with this one as well as the crocodile car. I would like to modify it in order to make the hands like grabbable, but I don't know if those pieces exist in Coral or if I'm just going to have to try another method with it. But I like the versatility between the rocket skates and the jetpack or whatever, the wings or whatever it has. And just a cool design. And it's like, hey, giant bunny. Why not? Very cool. And the village, I like that this already gives you something to work from. I could probably make mocks off of this right now. There's already have a sense of the size of them. So I could build other buildings that would work in this environment for the village. Why not? That'd be great. It'd be really funny to bring like Lego DREAMZzz mocks to Brick Fair, Virginia or something before the theme actually releases. Because Brick Fair, Virginia usually takes place like at the beginning of August, which is when these sets are supposed to come out. So that would be incredible. That's like, we got the new sets here, and I have mocks for them already. It's a good thing I got a whole bunch of Trans Dark Pink recently, and oh my gosh, I still feel like I need more. Like, I want to make, for Nightmare stuff, I would love to make a spider, and I definitely have the right kind of Trans Dark Pink parts to make a spider. That would be very cool and creepy looking, because it's like, you had a bunch of crawly things here, usually the smaller side, a polybag, this little guy, it's fine. But let's get even more creepy with it. Let's bring it out even further. I mentioned before about my idea for the dream boat that links up with a snooze cruise. What was the other idea I had earlier? I forgot what it was. Oh man, what was it? I'm gonna have to go scrolling back in the video to find out. There's something else I thought about building, and I can't remember it now. I'm sure it'll come back to me. All right, with that all being said, I hope you're in for this theme as well as I am. Going with the title on this one, I already thought up that title before, but I'm happy to use it again. Don't sleep on this theme. I want this theme to carry out very well. I want this theme to be very expressive and inspirational. And that should have been named Cactus. 100%. They called it Cactus. Missed opportunity to just call it Cactus. Catus. All right, that's all for me for right now. I will look back to see if the other thing uploaded or if it still needs something to work with to get the other Lego news. I know there's been some other Lego news that's happened since I made that previous live stream. We'll figure out what to do about that later, if anything, because I don't usually do Lego news. I'm only really doing it this time around just because it's just all bombarded at once. And I get people like Nathan who will ask me, about every single thing, which, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? I've already technically done that. I just haven't published, or I need to figure out what happened with it. But Lego City, I love all those new animals. I love the Arctic and diving in one. Yes, so good. Giant orca, absolutely. Yes, please. The shark is cool, even though I already have a shark from the previous ocean theme. I'll take another one. That's fine. I'm really ashamed that that giant shark that used to be like, 2 or 3 times a year in 2009 is now relegated to once every few years. Lego animals in City are something to behold. Anyways, catch y'all later. Have a great night. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. I will talk to you some other time. Hopefully I have more Lego stuff to share. I have a lot of this stuff in the background going on, which is why I haven't had a lot of Lego content. But hopefully something like Lego Dreams, or if I bring back out the Hidden Side sets, that'll inspire me to do some more content stuff. I got a little bit more that I'm working with in the Lego room itself. So it's more presentable and more enjoyable. I mentioned a while ago I had a Lego haul where I was like, I want to do certain videos that would be in a different style than what I've done before. So still working on that. And it hasn't come up as quickly as I thought it would, but hopefully it does happen. Arthur World, check out Arthur World, check out Cy O'Connor. They both have excellent YouTube channels. And I'm not just saying that because they're on here live. I do enjoy watching them. Even if I don't get to respond a lot of times, I do still keep up with those videos because those are a lot of fun. Take care. I'll talk to you later.